Welcome everyone to Tea Time Humor, our first pilot episode here on the channel.
Anyways, this channel is basically gonna be sponsored.
Say it with your chest.
This channel,
last.
I can't see. This channel is sponsored by Spacey Tropics. My boy right here made these customized shirts. So you can see mine's plain as day. Yours is so white.
Yeah, mine's is really white, but if I come up right here, you know what I'm saying? There we go. You can kind of see it.
That chocolate, it's a chocolate milk. This is chocolate milk. That's.
Look, at the end we'll be discussing everything, saying all our social media and whatnot that you can follow to stay tuned and stay informed as to when the next episode will drop, which should be pretty soon, and so on and so forth. As for now, it is just the two of us. Why is it just the two of us? Well, our other colleagues are... What the hell are you doing?
Listen. You gotta stop. You gotta be chill, man. You gotta be chill. Gotta be chill. Yeah, gotta be chill. Gotta be chill. Listen. Our other castmates are not here as of yet. But until then, we will be taking over the mic. And we'll be talking about...
It's not that they're not here yet. They weren't available to come today to shoot this first pilot episode.
Pause.
Reason being is that, well, they had their own personal things to take care of, and so be it. We won't say nothing to that.
Exactly.
So it'll just be the two of us today. So, good afternoon. My name is Anmol Ramchandani, and I'm joined by my co-host here,
Malik Daniel Alamar, also known as the Concord.
also known as the Concord. You hear that, folks? I'm sorry, I'm looking at the screen. I'm not looking at the lens. I need to let it focus. Yeah, I went there.
Anyways, the first topic that we want to talk to you guys about is actually really recent. Now, the Paris Air Show happened, I believe, last week, and Boeing unveiled a new jet.
Well, hold up. We didn't introduce this to them as properly as we should.
You're right.
So
we can cut that out. Yeah.
No, we won't cut it out. We'll leave it in and we'll introduce it like this. Look, today's topic, what we're going to be discussing about is the new 737-1000 Max and the A380 Plus. For all those aviation enthusiasts out there, you're gonna want to stay tuned, listen to what we have to say. We'll pick up on a part 2 when everyone comes back on the following episode, and we'll see what you guys have to say. Let's start this community and see if we can, get Boeing or get Airbus to check us out, Alright, let's begin, Malik.
Now, the Paris Air Show happened, I believe, last week, and Boeing unveiled the 737 MAX 10 or 10 MAX or whatever you guys want to call it. We all know it's a MAX and it's the 10 variant, and it's supposed to be longer than the 737-900ER.
Now, at that point, I think Boeing just failed right there. Why I say that is, this is my reason why they failed. Why would you make a longer plane? Now, don't get me wrong, I understand. People want more seats. These airlines want more seats. They want to carry more passengers. They want to carry more bags, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But now, answer me this. With the 737-10, or with the 737 in general, being so low to the ground, and you load that up with fuel, bags, and passengers, along with crew, with a plane that long, would you not think that you would be more prone to tail strike? What are your thoughts?
My thoughts is, the 900ER, even though it's been a success with a lot of airlines, especially United, which we all know what United's all about.
Yeah,
right?
we all know what United's about.
we'll just put that to the side. But
yeah. Okay.
Anyways, but with the 900ER being out, that's already prone to tail strikes. The 10 is just even longer than that, as my colleagues just said, and it's supposed to go 600 miles, if not 605 miles less than the 737 7 MAX, which is ridiculous. And
that's where I say, Boeing, you messed up. You messed up bad. You really messed up. I don't know how you're gonna make a longer plane with probably a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? probably more space to put a bigger fuel tank to give you better range, and you give me how much? 700 miles less?
Yeah, 600 miles less.
600 miles less than what? The 700?
Then the 700.
Than the 737 700 max. You give me 600 miles less on a bigger plane? You got something wrong.
Exactly.
I was interrupted for a bit. Yeah. How are you gonna give me a plane that is bigger than a smaller version of that plane with less fuel economy? You gotta screw those guys? I don't know what's going on here. I don't know.
All I can say to that, the 10 could have been the 757 Max 2 or Max 3 or Max whatever. 757 could have been that one aircraft to kill Airbus's chance of actually killing the narrow body market, which they're already doing right now.
Look, like I said before, I can't say that, but no, I can't say about the vlog. They don't know about the vlog yet.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But if some of you watching out there have seen my vlogs and you paid attention to vlog 2, we started talking there a little bit about the podcast and a little bit about what we're talking about, and what I stated was that Boeing is focusing too much on military revenue at this point. Yeah, granted, now there might be some of you in the comment section saying, no, Boeing is doing this, this, and this, and this. Granted, you're correct. You're probably correct, and I'm probably wrong. Who knows? My point is, I'd like for them to stop focusing so much on the military aspect, leave that kind of stuff to Lockheed Martin and the rest of the gang, and focus a little bit on commercial. Look how old the 7.5 is. You're telling me you couldn't give me a better 7.5? They could have made a better 7.5, but they give me a longer 737? That makes no sense. Come on, guys, what are you thinking?
Like a lot of airlines like Delta Airlines, United, American's starting to retire their older 757s, but
regardless of who's retiring what or who's still using it, 757s are still used immensely. They're still used immensely.
And they're very versatile too.
There you go. What is it? Short field takeoff and short field landings, right?
Yeah, short field takeoff, short field landings, and it acts like a wide body.
Well, there you go. There you go. I mean, come on now. What airline would not want something like that? You know what I'm saying? I mean, powerful engines, great stopping power, great takeoff power, everything. Just everything.
I mean, Norwegian is starting to fly their 737s from like Glasgow to Stewart International Airport up in Newburgh, and that could have been a route that a 757 Max or 757 NG could have been using, because it can handle that route easily. Icelandair uses the 757s from here to Iceland, from JFK to Iceland.
If you're in New York, I'm pretty sure you've seen a couple of Icelandair photos too on the regular MTA. On the MTA buses and trains, you would have seen a few posters of them. You would have seen a 7.5 there. Or, since most of you are plane enthusiasts, you know what a 7.5 looks like. Now, again, I don't get why Boeing would give me, or give the public in general, at the air show and use 7.3. We have enough. We have enough.
We definitely do.
We don't need no more. They should have been working on a 7.5, or if not calling it a 7.5, at least a 7.5 replacement. Or they should have been working on a 7.8, because we all know what happened with that one. Hashtag battery issues.
Hashtag pass the Duracell, forget Energizer.
Look, I feel Boeing should have really thought through on what they did with this 737, or they really should have thought through on what plane they should have been doing in general. You know what I'm saying?
Just look at the 777X, if we could talk about that.
Look, it's an aviation thing. We're gonna be talking about it in a second podcast. Continuing this when everyone's here, you might as well bring it up. Yeah, let's bring it up.
The 777X. First of all, the 8X is supposed to be longer than the 200, the 777-200 ER or LR, and shorter than the 300 ER. And then
the 9X is supposed to be the longest aircraft in the world by commercial standards, which is ridiculous. Then you have the folding wingtips, which that's
now,
just...
hold on right there. Hold on right there.
All right.
Folding wingtips. Folding wingtips. Now tell me this. I understand that Boeing is probably thinking exactly what I'm thinking, and that is, what if this shit gets ripped off in a storm?
Oh God.
Now, they probably have some mechanisms in place to keep it there, blah blah blah. It's strong, it's rigid, it's lightweight, it works. Fine, fine. My problem comes into play as maybe I just don't know too much about it, or maybe I'm right and they need to figure something out to fix it. You have a crease in that wing. Okay? There is a crease in between that folding tip and the wing itself. Now granted, that crease might not be huge. It might be like a millimeter, or maybe smaller than a millimeter, a micrometer, whatever it's called. But it's there. Over time, I can see that developing stress on that wingtip for it to rip off, or, you know, other types of casualties. And again, he mentioned it's going to be longer. What's up with Boeing and all of these long planes? Like, seriously, no joke. Actually, it is a joke. Those are flying dildos at this point.
Pretty much.
They're flying dildos.
Pretty much.
They're giant flying aluminum dildos. Okay? Why would you create what is it? Double the length, at least a quarter of the length? What is it?
Well, it's gonna be a little bit longer than the 747-8i. So.
What, longer than the 8i?
Yes, and that's the longest aircraft in the world.
Well, that I know now.
Yeah. And the 9X is gonna be longer than that.
That's insane.
And they're thinking about making a 10X, which is even more ridiculous.
Look, I get the whole point in trying to be competitive in the airline industry and trying to get the most passengers on your plane to go from point A to point B, blah blah blah. But let's get real. Stop making these ridiculous ass aircrafts. We don't need them. We have plenty of current aircrafts that can be worked on, improved, and put back into use, okay?
AKA the 7.5, and I would have to say the most underrated aircraft of all time at this point, besides the 7.5, because that's starting to dwindle down with all these newer aviation enthusiasts. But the 767 is extremely underrated.
Agreed.
Highly underrated.
I agree with that.
That aircraft was the 787 of its time. That's what dawned the 777 series, and that's what dawned the 787 as well. That was the smaller version of what a 747 could do on a wide body scale, but something that can take you a greater distance, because the 200 ER set the tone for what the 777 could do, and it set the tone for the A330, technically the A340, 300, and the 200, a whole bunch of aircrafts.
And that's my point there. Boeing, you used to make great aircraft.
Yes.
What happened? Who was your design engineer? Fire them. Okay, maybe not fire them, that's a little harsh. But talk to them. Need to talk to them. Reason why I'm saying why you need to talk to them, again, what's up with all these ridiculously long aircraft? You're making your aircrafts more tail strike prone. On top of that, it's a giant tube. Again, I understand the whole airline passenger thing, blah 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 blah. But what's the point of making the plane so long? How the hell are you gonna fit that on a gate? Each 777 now, if it's out, each 777-9 Max is gonna have to be put on a ramp. You can't bring this to the gate. At that point, you're messing up your customer satisfaction.
Pretty much.
And I don't mean customer satisfaction as the airline. I mean customer satisfaction as the passenger. You're gonna get people going from ramp all the way to the bus all the way, or walk all the way, or whatever the case is, to wherever they gotta go. No.
I mean,
remember, people want convenience.
Yeah.
They don't want your crazy long aircraft.
I mean, pretty much those aircrafts that they're coming out with now is more designed for like airlines like Emirates and
No, and
Etihad
I get that. I
Yeah.
get that. See, what's the airport called
Which one?
in Dubai?
I think it's just called Dubai International, I believe. I think that's it.
The international airport in Dubai. It's long. Okay, I've been there. It's long. They don't have no back to back like how you see here in JFK, LaGuardia, or any other
Yeah.
United States airport. It's one giant long strip. Okay? You can park a long 777 there, a 777-9 Max. Fine, you can park that and let the wingtips fold like a stupid little ferry. I don't care.
Tinkerbell.
Tinker fucking bell. Okay? Sorry about the language. But I'm just saying. They have accommodation for it. We don't.
No. Especially at JFK.
There you go.
If you've been to Terminal 1, you'll be lucky to fit two A380s and a 777-300ER 1, 2, 3 next to each other. Because Lufthansa ordered the 777-9X, actually. And the worst part about it is that they're probably going to use that straight here to JFK. Especially during high season.
I mean, I understand that. I
Yeah.
understand that.
So the moment that it parks right in there, and that wingspan's supposed to be pretty long too.
Pause.
Pause. and
I'm sorry, y'all. We had to throw a little comment.
and the aircraft is gonna be even longer too. Pause. But it's gonna impede even more traffic to little aircrafts that even have to get into Terminal 2, which is right there. It's like it's like this. It's a tight space. Doesn't make any sense.
I mean, look, Boeing probably knows what they're doing in making this aircraft. As a matter of fact, they probably already know they're not going to sell a lot of these aircraft. And if they do sell a lot of these aircraft, well then, all the airlines that buy them, you're stupid. You're really stupid. Excuse the light, it's really bright, I'm sorry. But you're stupid.
Number one, by the lighting, it looked like God has just blessed them. Literally. Number two.
Oh my God, bless me.
Number two, the airlines that order them, Lufthansa, Qatar, I think Etihad ordered about a couple of them, and Emirates ordered about 100, if not 120 of these things.
Speaking of 100, you saw that one with the A380 in Emirates? Or was you the one who showed us last week?
With how many A380s they have?
No. Somebody made a meme on how when they unveil it on the video,
Yeah.
and somebody put in the comment section, Emirates, I'll take 100.
I think it was TJ. I think TJ.
Yeah,
TJ.
That's the
Yeah.
other guy who will be joining us in the following
TJ.
following podcast.
TJ definitely taught
TJ to the max. You know why I call him a Mac? You know why I say TJ to the max? Because he's a Maxinista.
And not only that, he's a fan of this new 737-10 Max. So you're gonna hear his perspective.
Yeah, you're gonna hear his
Yes.
perspective on it.
You'll definitely hear his perspective on it.
Now, as far as the whole Boeing thing is concerned, you heard what we had to say for this part of the podcast. Now, we'll give some shining time to the A380 Plus.
From the French.
Parlez-vous français?
French fries. All kinds of tomato sauce.
You about to get your ass cut in the comment section. You know that, right? Mm-hmm.
Look, my shirt's red as ketchup, man.
Red as ketchup.
It's red as ketchup, man.
Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, you're gonna be asking me to say just a tip.
Oh no. No.
Anyways. So, besides the 737, 10 Max. Garbage! Sorry.
Exactly.
My throat. I'm sorry.
Trash.
Whoa. We have the A380 Plus,
Also unveiled at the Paris Air Show.
which I'm sure Airbus has a video of it. Well, they definitely have a video of it on their YouTube channel on there, you know.
They do. And when I first looked at the video, it did receive a lot of likes, thumbs up on YouTube, but the only problem is that I saw a lot of comments saying, we wanted the Neo, we want a Neo, we want a Neo. And I'm like,
I mean,
that's gonna take time.
not only that about taking time and shit, it's just I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if I'm ready for an A380 Neo at this point. Reason I'm saying that is it's a big plane. This shit is huge. How much more fuel are you gonna save if you put a new engine on it? 2%. It's nothing.
That and
I mean, granted, now 2% over a period of time while flying might equal to an hour or more in the air still. Okay, no problem. But you know what that is? That's a loiter time. Now, trust me, I know what I'm saying. I took my classes in my aviation school. Both of us are going to aviation school, and we sort of know at least most of what we're saying, and I know what I'm saying right here, right now. Loiter time is always going to be there. That's loiter time. You can't get away from that. And that extra 1 hour for a plane that size is loiter time. Loiter meaning traffic patterns, holding on landing, holding on takeoff.
Not only that, purposely cutting down the engines to a certain percentage so that way you stay in the air longer, so that way you have to pay a ticket for more than the price of what it's actually worth.
You see that? You see that? There you go.
I'm gonna give you an example. If you ever fly on another flight, on the Delta Airlines card, shout out to Delta Airlines like I was trying to say before until we got cut off, but anyways, on the card, or actually the magazine, the back of the magazine, it tells you which airports they have, which hubs they have, whatever. It shows you the aircrafts, the range, which some of it is actually lies, and the maximum speed, the maximum cruising speed, which is lies. A 757 at max cruising speed can go beyond 465 miles an hour. It can go up to like 550, if not 600 miles an hour, if the flight is light enough. Delta puts on their flights from here to my home in St. Thomas, my other home, 4 hours and 30 minutes, I believe. You take off from JFK, you're there in 3 hours and 30 minutes because the pilots don't care about what Delta has to say about what they put down in the magazine. Mm-hmm. They push those engines to where they need to be. They get you there. That's loiter time.
Mm-hmm.
Can't believe they loiter, man. Damn.
Look, like I said,
need some water.
Thirsty motherfucker.
Really?
Yeah, really. Anyways, again, this is why I said I don't think, and I think Airbus said the same thing, I don't think we're ready yet for a Neo. At least with the engines that are out now, we're not ready for a Neo.
We're not.
As far as the A380 Plus is concerned, yes, we needed a revamped A380. Reason why I'm saying, we all know what happened to Qantas that one time. Engine fell off while they were flying.
QF32.
There you go. We know that there was a whole, big thing with the 380 having hairline fractures in both sides of the wings and the airfoils and stuff like that. I mean, look, at this point, Airbus knows what they're doing. They're refining something that works. You get my point? They're refining something that works. Whereas Boeing is concerned, they're, again, they're just increasing length. They're making a whole new plane, making a whole new plane, making a whole new plane, rather than fixing what's, what can be fixed. Why not make a 737-700 lighter? Why not try to give it better materials? Why not try to give it better engines? More fuel-efficient engines. Then you can get an extra 600 miles or an extra 700 miles on top of what you get. That sounds good to me.
Because I mean, like, when you literally watch the video when they brought out the Max, not the first video, I believe it was like the second or third video they put out about the Max series. They were like, look at this, newer windows, newer interior, newer this, newer, like, just throwing it at you. And the guy, the narrator in that video is literally just throwing things at you, like, Poland Spring water, here it is, better material for the bottle, better this, better that. That's literally what they're doing to you.
I mean, again, like I said, somebody at Boeing needs some help. They should have been focusing on improving what they have. They don't need to give an entirely notice I said the word entirely new aircraft. We don't need it. This is why I think Airbus is going in the right direction, making the A380 Plus, strengthening what they have. What, they can take 80 more people on it now too?
Yep.
Oh, well, it makes it longer, right?
I don't think it's longer. I think it's just like they found ways of, like how the A320neo is.
Yeah.
They found ways of how to push things that was like space.
Okay,
like, things that take up space. Yeah.
Okay, so I have an idea what he's talking about. Again, that I studied in aircraft configuration. There's a payload. Well, not a payload. There's a passenger capacity, and then there's a max passenger capacity. Now, the regular passenger capacity is stuff like economy class, business class, and first class.
Which is dying.
Which is dying.
Yes.
More on that on another topic.
Yes.
However, damn, I gotta edit all that shit out now.
Yo, watch your mouth, man.
It's still gonna be edited out.
Watch your mouth.
Either way. So, yeah, what was I saying?
Talking about the capacity,
Yeah, there's passenger capacity, and then there's max passenger capacity. Like I was saying, there is regular economy, business, and first.
And premium economy in most foreign airlines.
Okay, there you go. What max capacity for passengers is that they're pretty much stuffing this plane like a turkey.
Pretty
okay?
much like Spirit Airlines.
There's no such thing as business class. There's no such thing as economy. There's no such thing as first or premium economy. There's no such thing. It's just a bunch of people crammed into one plane. Now let's say, for example, because I did research on this, an A320. Yeah, an A320 takes about 150 people.
Yes.
The reason I'm saying I travel JetBlue a lot, their max is 150 plus crew. Okay. Now, if they get rid of a few stuff and increase everything, the max to pack everyone, like a bunch of animals, is somewhere around 160, 170. As far as planes that have business class is concerned, oh no, sorry, wrong. I was wrong. Not the A320, A321, because it has Mint in it in JetBlue. That's the business / first class kind of thing that's going on there. And the A321, it's all of that plus the business class. But if it's opened up and you take out business or Mint, I should say, it easily shoots up to 200 seats in there. 200, 220, rather than 185. Damn. I didn't realize I was pushing the table.
I saved your camera's life.
You did save my camera's life. Oh well. Anyways, yeah. Like I was saying, it pushes us up to 200 to 220 people. And that's crammed. And I mean crammed. Like, you have no space, like, nothing.
We're talking about New York City's subway system crammed. We're talking about 7 train crammed.
Mm-hmm. What was the whole idea of me saying all this?
About adding more capacity to the
Oh, right.
A380.
Okay, yeah. So in terms of Boeing and Airbus adding more seats for passengers, as per the airline request, Boeing got it all wrong. They're trying to add a whole 100, 200 plus seats.
Exactly.
Or they're trying, you know what they're trying to do. The A380, they added about 80 seats. Now, granted, that plane is probably the same dimensions, and they added 80 seats. Airbus, you just won. You just won. How you add 80 seats to something so... well, I wouldn't say it's crammed now, but, it's up there. It's up there. You add 80 seats to that, and still probably keep your fuel economy, still probably keep your range, still probably keep the kind of, so what's the word I'm looking for? Hospitality and stuff that the airline need to give,
especially
to
Emirates.
the passengers. There you go, especially Emirates. You guys just won. I don't understand. Now, in my case, like I was saying again to them, like I was saying to Malik and the rest of them, if Airbus makes something close to a 7.5,
that's it.
and it's a little more fuel efficient than the current Boeing 7.5.
That's it.
That's it. That's it. Who's going back to Boeing for commercial planes anymore?
Because Airbus is starting to get it. They already made the long-awaited answer to the 777.
Mm-hmm.
That was the A350. And the A350 is literally the perfect response to the 777 series. Now,
Agreed.
people were saying, oh, the A330's Airbus's 777. No, it was never Airbus's 777. That was something to compete against the 767.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same area, the same realm that belongs in.
Yep. Absolutely.
And people are saying that the Airbus A350 and the 787 are pretty much competing against each other. No, they're not. A350 is a big plane if you stand right next to it. 787, it's wider than the 76, but
actually, if you go online and you look at some of the measurements, the 7.8, well, the 787-800 variant at least, is smaller than the 767. Not by much, but it's still smaller.
Are you talking about the wingspan, or are you talking about like?
No, I saw some the whole plane length in general and tail height.
Mm-hmm.
It's shorter. It's but like that much though.
Yeah,
I
I think it's like the 8 versus the 76 300ER. The 8
Yeah.
variant. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it's short. Yeah, it's that. Yeah, when you stand next to a 787-8, like it's a big plane, but it's short, really short.
Look, you stand next to any plane, it's big.
Yeah,
But if you
much.
put a plane next to a plane,
then you
you'll
see the
understand.
difference. Yes.
You'll understand.
Like people think that the 7.5 is a skinny narrow body. It is skinny, but as soon as you stand right next to it, you're like, damn.
And look, he's speaking from experience because he did work on JFK run.
And I've been taking the 757 pretty much all my life, going back home or like various flights that I've been on.
And there you go. So he's speaking from experience as to what he knows, and I'm speaking from what I've researched and what I've been told in classes. And it's true, the 7.8 is smaller than the 7.6. The A350 is not What the fuck? You see this big ass nigga just come out of nowhere? Oh shit! This nigga big as fuck.
Yo, that's where you coming from.
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Godzilla was attacking. And by Godzilla, I mean a fly about bigger than my head. And I got a big head, so, you know.
I got a big snapback.
Pause.
How's that a pause?
Snapping back.
You're right. Pause.
P for pause.
This is
Anyways.
not Pittsburgh Pirates. This is for pause.
Oh god, here we go. You're gonna get yelled at by the people in the comment section, and it's not gonna be pretty.
I love them. You gotta show love to people, man.
You gotta show love to people. They ain't gonna show love to you. You call them Pittsburgh Pirates. Pause.
I'm a Yankee fan. That's gonna cost some stuff.
That is gonna cost some stuff. Anyways, besides our little humorous part in Tea Time Humor, back to the subject matter here. Again, the 350 is not competing with the 787. We know this. It's a 777 competitor. We've seen it in action. We've seen what it can do. It's a 777 competitor. I'm pretty sure Airbus knew that too. They had no intention of competing against the 7.8. And on top of that, the 7.8 was rushed because Boeing thought the 350 was the competitor.
And look at what happened.
Airbus
took their time and they brought out a beautiful product, and Boeing created the 7-late-7 as it's given its nickname. It's a plane that was supposed to be out years prior. It's supposed to be 10 years old. The project is 10 years old in terms of how long it's been flying. But when it was first delivered, I think 2011, 2012, one of them.
Right, yeah.
It was delivered really late.
But not so late that they made a good product.
Yeah.
It was late and it was shitty. And we all know this.
Shitty smitty.
Battery issues, small battery explosions, plane catching on fire, smoke in the cockpit.
It's just one thing after another.
Boeing has been going down since the release of the 7.8. They've been going down. Why? Again, they're spending too much time on military. I mean, come on, granted, now, okay, you're gonna make, let's say, for 5, 6, 7, 8 military aircraft, you just made $300 million. Or more. Good for you, Boeing. Good for you. But remember, commercial is a big thing too. And you can easily sell as much 747s or 767s or 757s, etc., etc., to make up that same 300 million number, 400 million, 500 million. No matter what you say, the commercial industry is just as important as the military industry.
And where you messed up was nearly 12, 13, actually 15 years ago. If not, could be wrong. You stopped the production of the 747-400. Fine. You needed a replacement. You stopped production of the 757-200. Could have made a MAX. Could have made a next gen, like I said before.
Could have made a replacement, period.
Period. But here's where people don't really know too much about the 747. There was an air show, I believe it was Oshkosh or whatever, in the 90s. Boeing was already making a 747 replacement. The 600 variant is technically today's 747-8i, 8 Intercontinental, or 800, whatever.
That you say 8i because there's an 8F also for a freighter.
Freighter, yeah. But the fact of the matter is, you made a plane fine. You made the 747-8i. That came out. You didn't produce what you were supposed to do in the air show, the Paris Air Show that year, because how are you going to present a plane? Try to present everything that's inside of it and outside. Try to sell it to these different airlines. You walk in the aircraft and you don't see no seats, but you see overhead lockers, and that's it. You don't see any seats. You don't see any like IFEs or anything. It's like a test aircraft instead of the finished product. One of the finished products. It doesn't make any sense.
Wait. Back up.
Yes.
They unveiled that at the air show?
Yes, they did. Gulf Air was one of the potential buyers before they went to hell, pretty much.
So you're telling me 747-8
Could have been selling.
was unveiled with no damn seats?
They had like a couple of them, like a couple of rows, but then like towards the back was like a couple of wires hanging down. It just looked raggedy, and you would see like the finished window. Yeah, there you go.
Unprofessional ass people.
Assholes, I would have to say.
How are you gonna present a plane with wires hanging down?
And mind you, the 7.4 and the 7.8, the newest 7.4 and the 7.8, they're supposed to be around like similar, pretty similar in terms of like the interior. Here's the one thing. A350 has regular window shades. Airbus didn't come up with the technology yet to do the dimming thing.
Or probably it's not even the fact that they didn't come up with the technology. They just didn't want
to do it. They just felt it's just worthless.
There you go.
The 7.8 has it. Battery issues. But then the 747 doesn't have it.
The 747 at this point, look, I didn't even know all of that stuff. At this point, if you ask me, the 747-8 is still to this day an unfinished product,
and it's pretty much obsolete. It's like a extended. You know what? Sorry for just stuttering so much because it's just so much crap right now. You might as well go to the desert, the Mojave Desert, to the boneyard, and get a Qantas 747-400. You might as well just do that instead of getting a new 747.
And refurbish it or something.
Exactly, because Qantas, I have to give it to you guys in Australia, the Aussie people. You take care of your aircrafts really well. Extremely well. I've never heard of a fatal accident or anything from Qantas at all.
I mean, granted, the A380 thing, but again, this is why Airbus dropped a new A380. They knew it. They knew they had shit wrong with it.
And this is why they're killing it in the market right now.
There you go. This is why all of the big airlines have it. Because it can take the passenger capacity that they want. It can do the distance. It can give the most premium if equipped. It can give the most premium business and first class. It's pretty much a cruise ship in the sky. Yeah, okay, make fun of it. I don't care. People, Airlines are doing wonders with the 380. Where is the 747-8? Lufthansa? That's it?
Korean Air,
Korean Air?
Air China.
That's it? Look,
Yeah,
that's the three we
Pretty
can
much.
name now. There's probably
2 more.
2 or 3 more out there. But hence my point. Airbus has the 380 everywhere. Singapore has it. Emirates has it. Korean Air has it. Freaking who else has it?
Even China Southern has
China
it.
Southern has it. China Southern. Way to go, guys. China Southern
China
has it.
Southern has it.
Who else has it? More people have it. I know more people have it. Doesn't Delta have it?
No.
Somebody has it.
No.
Someone-
No
some-
American airline has it. Let's see. You said Korean Air. You said.
Oh, British.
Yeah,
British has it.
Even. You guys hurt me when you didn't order the 747, but I understand why. Because you saw that air show. You were one of your representatives was probably at that air show.
Yup.
You saw that unfinished 74. You're like,
They're like, no, we don't want another 7-8 epidemic.
they're like, my George, we're gonna keep our 400s. You have no problem not retiring them for a while.
British has them. Obviously Air France has them.
France.
That's obvious.
French.
Who else? There's more people. Lufthansa has them.
Yeah. Qatar has it. Etihad
Qatar.
has it.
Qatar, Etihad.
Thai
yes, Thai has
International
them.
has it.
Thai has them too. Look how many people we're naming one after the other, and I'm pretty sure there's still 1 or 2 more that have the 380.
And a lot of these airlines used to operate 747s.
There you go. They gave up all their 747. Now, granted, before you start roasting me in the comment section, the 747-400 was a fantastic plane.
The greatest 747 of all
It
time.
was superb. And I lived in St. Martin for most of my life. I should know. KLM,
Air France.
every time KLM came into the island, you knew when it was taking off and you knew when it was landing. It was the pinnacle. Landing on the Dutch side of St. Martin. A Dutch airline on the Dutch side. You knew it was KLM because it was a 747.
You see the Queen, if you see a whole bunch of people gathering on the beach, it's not for a 7.5, as much as I love that bird. It's not for an A330.
No, they gather
for that.
They gather for all planes. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, they do.
I live there. I know.
Yeah, they do.
They gather for all planes. But no plane
Got more attention
in St. Martin is more iconic
than 7.4.
and more, I guess an overall staple, if you would say, than the 7.4.
Exactly.
Whether it be Corsair that came for a few times and then they
Yeah.
stopped coming, or whether it be the Big Mama herself, KLM. 7.4 was the shit. Okay, it was one hell of a plane.
Exactly.
Where was I getting at with this?
Pretty much you were talking about like 748 versus the 400.
Right.
That's the biggest one too.
You see, this is also the reason why KLM is stop flying the 7.4 down to St. Martin. It's actually pretty sad. There is a video of it on YouTube. The last 7.4 to take off. It was a sad day. People were crying. People crying for this. That was my phone. Excuse me. People were crying for this. It was an iconic plane. What do we got now? An MD-80? No, not MD-80. MD-11. Or, yeah, there's an MD-11.
MD-11 from who?
KLM.
No, they all retired.
No. One came. Few were coming.
You serious?
Yeah, few were coming and then they stopped.
But after the 747 retired?
No, it was coming in between.
Oh, because I know KLM stopped their MD-11 service like for 2 years now, I think.
No, it was coming in between. It was coming. It was kind of like a transition because they announced that they were gonna discontinue bringing the 7.4.
Oh, okay.
So it was in between. But they were bringing it, and now I think they're bringing a 777.
Ew. I mean, I love the 777, but just, no.
I mean, look,
No.
you're not gonna replace the Queen of the Skies, okay?
You're not.
You're not gonna replace her with her ugly twin, the 747-8. Okay? It's just not gonna happen. The shoe don't fit right, Cinderella.
Put it to you like this. The other thing that really killed the 747-8 from selling too wasn't what they did in Oshkosh. They could have actually done a better job if they didn't announce the 777X series coming out 6 months, if not a year, after you let the 747 start breathing for the first time.
Yep.
You put that product out. Literally.
Look.
Literally,
Look.
Damn, Boeing.
As you could see from here,
Damn.
we're reaching our cutoff point at this point for this first installment.
We are.
And quite honestly, I have a lot more to say. He has a lot more to say.
Definitely.
But we're gonna wait till the next installment, the next episode. That's when we're gonna have everybody. That's when probably TJ is gonna come. That's probably when our friend Wesley is going to come. We call him Killer.
So, mind you, we're gonna have a killer segment.
Yeah, we're gonna have a killer segment too. But yeah, that's when TJ's gonna come. That's when Wesley's gonna come, and all four of us are gonna debate on this a little more next time. Maybe this time it's not gonna just be, because obviously, as you can see in this podcast, we did sidetrack a bit talking about the 7.4, the 7.8, and all that stuff, when the real topic was the 7.3 and the A380. But as you could see from what we're saying now, Airbus did it. Boeing
Failed.
go back to the drawing board. No, it's not that they failed. Go back to the drawing board. Rethink on how you're pushing these aircraft, and then come back with a better aircraft. Not a new aircraft, a better aircraft.
797.
Yeah, right.
It was supposed to be the replace. Do you want to know something? I'll give you a little preview of what they're gonna do. They're gonna be like, there was once the king of narrow bodies, the queen of narrow bodies, the 757. And then you're going to talk about how you're going to implement the 797 to replace it. Get out of here.
Probably going to talk about some nonsense like, look how much my wing flexes.
Boeing, make another 757. Come on now.
You might as well, because the 757 was one of your most successful aircraft.
And it still flies today because it's so versatile.
Only reason I'm saying was is just because it's old. Don't go crazy. I'm not saying it sucks.
Old but beautiful.
Look, he's right. It is old but beautiful. But
Yes.
what you gonna do? You have a company that's not thinking right now, and then you have another company that's just pushing out all the right stuff. Damn, Airbus, damn, you did it, and that is gonna conclude this episode here. Even though it was just the two of us, we were kind of hesitant to film, but you know, the term "strike while the iron is hot" was in my head the entire time, and I really, really wanted to shoot this podcast. And I'm glad that Malik was able to come here so we can at least, start the discussion, start something going in the comment section to see if we have any questions that we can try to answer, or if you guys can answer, or, give us wrong. Tell us if we're wrong, you tell us if we're wrong, or, you know what it is? This is an entire community, a community. This is what Tea Time Humor is. We're a bunch of college students that just came out of college. We know what it is about school. Obviously, it's not only going to be planes that's our only topic, or aviation in general.
We might even talk about DJ Khaled.
We're not talking about DJ Khaled. We're not talking about DJ Khaled.
All kinds of.
There's no major keys here.
But I'm not. I was quoting the Hodge twins. All kinds of games. All kinds of games. Yeah.
Shout out to the Pairs.
That's from Rick Ross.
I know. Anyways.
Major key is I just did it. I just did it. DJ Khaled just did it.
I like Pairs.
But the main focus of this channel is so many different topics that we can talk about, but also putting a comedic twist to it.
Exactly. And that's the whole point of Tea Time Humor. We're going to be talking. Yes, we will be cursing. Not as much as you think, but we will be.
Yeah, I just I caught myself.
Pause.
I caught myself.
But we will, like I said, we're college students. We're going to be laughing, we're going to be joking. But at the end of the day, we're serious about these topics. We're serious about this podcast. And we're serious about you guys as a community. And we want to see what you guys have to say. You saw and heard what we had to say in the comment section below. Speak your mind, guys. Speak your mind.
And keep brewing.
Keep brewing.
Yeah. Tea, you gotta keep brewing in order for you to,
I like my tea light, okay? I don't want no strong ass tea. I don't want my tea to knock me out.
I guess you don't like the British then.
British people are like you.
No, he don't.
He just over exaggerating.
No, he don't.
He just over exaggerating.
Nah.
Anyways, so since this is the end, if you like what we had to say, again, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. My name is Anmol,
My name's Malik.
and if you want, you can follow us both on our social media, Anmol Ranjanani.
I'll just put the link in the description.
Well,
Concord,
I'll just
basically
yeah.
Concord 4080 or Speedbird 676. I got two of them.
There you go. You can follow, but you can. The reason I said my name like that was because of Facebook and whatnot. But on Instagram, it's I'm so dope 21. Granted, I know it's corny, but bear with me. I had it for a very long time. There's that. There's also my other page, my Spacey Tropics. That is my business page. That's my motto. That's my everything. Spacey Tropics. #17Tropics. Follow that. I make shirts like these, all that stuff. I'm the one who makes them. We don't order them. We order these shirts. We order just plain shirts only, and I cut, print, and do everything to make these shirts. The Tea Time Humor shirt is here. If you guys want Tea Time Humor shirts, please say in the comment section below. And if we get enough people, starting on the next video on the Spacey Tropics website, I will have a small segment dedicated to Tea Time Humor if you want a shirt. Okay? As for everything else, you know, Tea Time Humor has an Instagram. It's at Tea Time Humor. And there we'll keep you posted as to when the latest podcast is up, when the latest stuff is up, when the latest merch is up, whatever the case is. Merch. Just merch. Anyways.
Exactly.
Also, both of us, including TJ, but TJ will mention his stuff in the following video.
Don't follow him. He's a bad influence.
Don't worry. Anyways, both of us have vlogging channels. Now, granted, we just started vlogging. Well, he been vlogging. Yeah. I just started vlogging. And I'm not that good with editing and stuff yet, but bear with me, I will get better in time. You can follow me at, well, you'll probably have to look up the video first, but I'll leave a link in the description to both my channel and to his channel. And from there you can subscribe and catch us on our daily life, on our daily journey as we go through everything, you know? As we go through aviation school and finish. I'm going to be finished by December and you're going to be finished by spring, right?
Yeah, by spring I should be done, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to be finished by the winter of this year. He's going to be finished by spring. And you'll get to see the journey even after that. Once Tea Time Humor becomes big and we do everything we got to do. So again, I'd like to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart for joining us in this, our pilot first episode, whatever you want to call it, of Tea Time Humor. I'm gonna slap the shit out of you.
Pilots. Pilots.
Again, thank you. Like, comment, subscribe. And we will catch you in episode number 2.
Oh, that's 4. This is 2.
Damn. Look at what you did. It was a great ending. Look what you did. It was a great ending. I'm still gonna put all of this in.
Nah, it's still a great ending. I don't care.
He cares. Anyways.
We get Tic Tac, man.
He wants a Tic Tac. Look at him. Yeah. He think that's gonna help. Anyways.
Mint.
Catch y'all in the next one.